It is a horrible idea that there is somebody who owns us, who makes us, who supervises us, waking and sleeping, who knows our thoughts, who can convict us of thought crime, who can do thought crime, just for what we think. You're a child made in the image of God. Oh no, you're not. You're a faggot. And you can't join your church and you can't go to heaven. This is disgraceful. It's inhuman.
I read an interesting article yesterday. Ultimate insult. Ex-Palin staffer says Trump more woefully ignorant than Sarah. This was written by Andrew Bradford on July 28, 2016. There are insults and then there are thermonuclear word bombs. This is one of the latter. Sarah Palin, who was John McCain's running mate in the 2008 election, may well be one of the most utterly clueless people to ever be nominated by either American political party. Palin, who once said she could see Russia from her house in Alaska, was most notably dense on the subject of foreign policy. But now Nicole Wallace, who was once a staffer for Sister Sarah, says that Donald Trump is even more woefully ignorant than her former boss. Wallace, who now does political analysis for MSNBC, said this about Trump on the Thursday edition of Morning Joe. Sarah Palin went to bed with an open highlighter smeared on her face most nights because she was trying to learn. She was up all night studying, and she understood that she was on the ticket with a man who was respected around the world. I don't know if this is a gender thing, but he's not even trying to learn. More ignorant than Sarah Palin. Think about that for a moment. Let it roll around in your mind and then ask yourself a very important question. We want this man to have control of our armed forces and our nuclear arsenal? The first time a foreign leader said something unflattering about the Orange Menace, he'd be ready to touch off a third world war. It's one thing to be uninformed on a topic and then seek to better your understanding, but Trump has no desire to learn or listen to any advice that doesn't come out of his own disgusting pie hole. He's a cancer on this country, and we must excise him in November. What's interesting about this article, and I will post a link in my description, is if you read the comments underneath, the constant attacks in the comments are not directed at Trump, they're directed at Sarah Palin. Interesting. The article is actually bashing Trump and saying that he's even more ignorant than Sarah Palin, but the comments and the insults seem to be mostly focused on Sarah Palin. Interesting. Could it be that women are just easier marks? Could it be that the whole idea of a woman leading a country is just so much more mock-worthy? Again, I go back to what I posted yesterday about religion and the attitudes it has created in this country toward women, and especially toward strong women who dare to try to imagine themselves in the highest positions in our government. I grant you, Sarah Palin was not remotely equipped to be the vice president. And yes, I mocked her too. But the fact, I didn't know until just reading this, that she actually acknowledged the fact that she had things she needed to learn and tried to learn, speaks, in my opinion, very highly of her desire to give her best to the country. Trump doesn't even try to learn. Every time anybody criticizes him or questions him or opposes him, he shuts them down and does not have ears to listen. He's incapable of bringing in new information, taking it in, absorbing it, digesting it, and possibly even changing his opinions about things. These things are all impossible for him. He has walls around himself that none can break through. I just watched Hillary Clinton's acceptance speech at the Democratic National Convention. I hadn't really paid much attention to Hillary because, well, I listened to all the rhetoric. Tried not to, but it did sink in. For the first time, I really listened to her. And I see what a real leader looks like. Not only does she have inspiring plans and ideas, things that could really help this country, but she outlined how she would do these things that she's saying. She discussed her plans, and she described how she would bring about her plans. And it was all about making America greater rather than great again. Like somehow we're not great anymore. I see a pessimistic opinion of this country, and I see an optimistic opinion of this country. I see someone who is in denial for how far we've come, and somebody who highlights and gives credit to how far we've come and how hard we have worked as a country. I see people insulting Clinton, and all I can think is why? Because she has boobs. She's got boobs, so she can't lead the country. She doesn't have a dick, so she can't lead the country. I really think it comes down to that. All the people that say, oh, she lies, she lies, she lies. Look in the mirror at your own candidate. He lies like some people breathe. He lies so much he can't keep his own lies straight, even for himself. So that's all I wanted to say. Short video. But yeah, seeing this article and seeing that waving Sarah Palin's name did nothing but bring back all the foaming at the mouth, love to bash Sarah Palin people. Like the whole point of the article was completely missed. That Trump, the male swaggering demigod who thinks he wants to be king and make this country be under a king, which is what our forefathers fought against, that whole message was lost. That he is so fucking shut off from the world that he can't and refuses to learn new things. That whole point of the article was shut off. Oh, Sarah Palin. Wow, was she ever stupid? Yeah, Sarah Palin. I thought we all got that out of our system a long time ago. The bashing of Sarah Palin. Yes, we all understand. She was ill-equipped for office. And pretty comical. And actually kind of scary sometimes. But I'm sorry, she pales by comparison to how scary Donald Trump is. Or how fucking clueless he is. And I'm sorry, the same people that mock Sarah Palin, a lot of them are for Donald Trump. Okay.
Thank you.